Welcome to Movie Talk. I am Peter the Book Lover, and in these videos I talk about 3 movies that I recently seen, and let's talk about them. Hello everybody, I am Peter the Book Lover, and in these videos I talk about the movies I recently seen. I'm going to do this 3 movies at a time. I was going to do this every single month, but the video was just a little bit too long. I had 14 movies that I watched, and I tried to make a video in one video, and it was just too long. So instead I'm going to talk about just 3 movies at a time. I've got 2 horror movies and 1 comedy that I want to talk about this episode. And I want to, before I start and talking about these movies, I want to thank everybody that's here for coming by. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. I'm glad that everybody's here giving me their time while I talk about movies. This is a lot of fun for me. I enjoy watching movies and talking about movies. So let's get into this. Now, the first movie that I'm going to talk about is a sequel. This is a sequel that was made in 1983. This is directed by Richard Franklin, and this is Psycho 2. Now, this is starring Anthony Perkins, Meg Tilly, Dennis Franz, and Robert Laiga. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but he is in the movie Scarface, and he plays the guy Frank, the drug dealer that Scarface gets his start with. Now, Dennis Franz is, I've seen him in other movies. He plays a cop usually. He's also in Die Hard Part 2, which is another good movie. And Anthony Perkins was in the original Psycho. And Psycho is a fantastic movie. This also stars Meg Tilly, plus other actresses and actresses are in this movie. And if you want to know, I recommend this movie. This movie was a great movie. I really enjoyed this movie. This movie is a movie to where you never know where it's going to go. Dennis Franz in this, Franks, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but this guy plays a fantastic horror movie character. I really like people when they play this kind of character in horror movies because they are people that you root for getting it, and you know, I enjoy this when I watch horror movies. So this was a lot of fun. The ending of this movie is fantastic. The very end of it is a great ending. I love it. It's fantastic, and I highly recommend this one. This one was fantastic. Psycho 2 from 1983. I give it a thumbs up. Okay, the next movie that I watched was from 1995, directed by F. Gary Gray. And this is Friday. And this is an amazing comedy. I think this is fantastic. I've watched this movie several times, and I never get sick of this movie. This is starring Chris Tucker, John Witherspoon. This is the father in the movie, and John Witherspoon does a fantastic performance in this movie. He's very funny, and at the same time, he actually's got a great performance as a father, and I love the ending of this movie. It is great. Also, Tony Cox is a black midget that does a fantastic performance in this. Also, Tom Lister Jr. playing Debo does a fantastic job as Debo. Great neighborhood bully. He does a fantastic job. Frazen Love, that is the big worm character, and he does a fantastic job. And also an appearance by Bernie Mac. And like I said, Chris Tucker does a fantastic performance in this movie. I love his performance. And you know this, man. Oh yes, this is a very funny movie that has a lot of laughter. All black cast. There's no, except a couple Spanish people. This is pretty much an all black cast, and I love this movie. It's one of my favorite comedies. And I actually watched this without smoking weed this time, and I've watched this several times with smoking weed, and I enjoy it with smoking weed or without smoking weed, because there's a part of this movie to where Chris Tucker talks Ice Cube into smoking weed, and he's like, "I'm gonna get you high today, cause you ain't have no job, you don't got nothing else to do." And yeah, Ice Cube gets fired on his day off in this job, and it's they talk about this throughout this movie. The very beginning of this movie, what's really great about it is there's Jehovah's Witnesses knocking at his door, and he acts like he's not interested, and the Jehovah's Witnesses, well then, fuck you then. It's just great. I really get a kick out of watching this, and the ending of this movie is fantastic. It's got a kind of dramatic ending to it. And if you pay attention, there's a character that's in the middle of this movie that gets treated really badly, that gets justice at the very end. I highly recommend Friday. It is a fantastic movie, and if you've never seen this, trust me, you'll get a laugh out of this. Okay. The next movie is a horror movie. This one is from 2016, and this is a South Korean horror movie, and this is directed by Yong Sang-ho, and this is Train to Busan. This is a zombie horror movie. Now, in the beginning of this movie, the way this movie starts is pretty cool. There's a guy driving a car and he hits an animal, and then he's looking and he looks at the animal, thinks the animal is dead, he drives off, and then this animal comes to life, and you know this is going to be a zombie movie. And okay, the actors in this movie are Gon Yu, Kim Suan, Kim E Sung, and Ma Dong Shuk. I think I pronounced those names correctly. Please forgive me for not pronouncing them correctly. Now, I have some issues with this movie. One of the first issues that I have with it is that the zombies, they don't eat the people. They bite the people and then move on to the next person. It seems like any zombie in this movie, they are on a mission to create more zombies. For some reasons, these zombies wanted to make more zombies, which is kind of silly. And you know, it goes from full craziness very quickly, like almost too quickly. Another thing that kind of bothers me about this movie is that the guy that plays the villain and the guy that plays the good guy, I dislike them about the same. Because the guy that plays the supposedly good guy in this, he's kind of a jerk as well. He's not nowhere near as a jerk as Kim E Sung. Now, Kim E Sung, this actor, plays a well over the top bad guy, like so self-centered. He's actually fun to watch, man. He was actually very interesting character, one of my favorite characters in this movie. And the guy, Ma Dong Shuk, this guy acts like he's this great person, but he was really annoying in my opinion. One other thing about this is that I've noticed, I've watched a couple of Asian horror movies, and one thing I've noticed about it is the whole cast is Asian. There's no diversity whatsoever in these movies. Every single character is an Asian person. You know, I think that this would be a lot better if you had a variety of character, a black guy, you know. There's not even one. There's none. Like everybody is Asian. And another thing that kind of bothers me about this movie is that these zombies, when they don't only come after you if they see you or if they hear you. They can't smell you or sense you. And there's some scenes to where they're crossing, going to one end of the train to the other, that they do a trick to where they take a backpack and throw it at the other end of the train, and all the zombies go running and attack it. And I don't know, they had a couple levels like that that was weird. They had this other level. It's almost like a video game. I could actually see this a video game. So I had a couple problems. I still didn't mind watching it. I'm glad that I watched it, but like I say, I would not highly recommend this one. This one I kind of give a thumbs down. Uh, I hate doing that to a movie, but like I say, I myself didn't like it. Although at the same time, this is a very popular movie, and there is a big fan base for this movie. So, you might watch this and actually enjoy this a lot more than I did. But in my opinion, thumb downs on Train to Busan. Okay, that's the 3 movies. I want to thank you all for coming by and watching these movies, and maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't agree with me. Please let me know in the comments of what you think. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you do, or maybe you don't. I'd love to hear from you either way. And if you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. That would really help this channel out a lot and help me grow, and that's what I'm trying to do. Also, I'm trying to be entertaining, so I hope that I entertained you while I talked about these movies. And that's about it, man. I hope you guys have a nice day, and thank you for coming by, and I will see you the next time. Expect another video in a couple days. See ya.